Well, there are growing concerns misinformation is hampering the COVID vaccine rollout in vulnerable communities. As conspiracy theories flood social media, lower vaccination rates are being recorded among the homeless, as well as Indigenous and multicultural groups.
There is hesitancy and a reluctance in across many communities. Get off social media. The truth isn't there.
Well, Dr. Mariam Charlan is a GP in Sydney and says she's constantly seeing patients who are the victims of vaccine misinformation. Mariam, thanks for joining us tonight. What are some of the concerns patients are coming to you with?
As a GP, generally what I'm seeing, patients are coming in with concerns around the virus itself, whether it exists, whether it's as fatal as people say it is. We're also seeing a lot of people come in with concerns regarding vaccine side effects.
I know there's a lot of wacky stuff on the internet. What's the craziest theories that you've been presented with?
Whatever you think, I've heard it. Vaccine alters your DNA. The vaccine causes growth of a reproductive organ, which I thought would encourage people to get the vaccine.
Good that you're keeping a sense of humour in amongst all of the craziness, Doc. But there are concerns that vulnerable groups, including the homeless, First Nations, Australians and ethnically diverse people, are suffering most from the misinformation that's out there. Is that what you're seeing?
Well, I can't speak for those groups specifically, but what I can say is that research tells us that people that are more inclined to believe conspiracy theories are people that are from lower socioeconomic backgrounds and those with lower levels of education, whether it's those groups or not. And unfortunately, this is being fueled further by the misinformation that we're seeing in social media campaigns. You've got these loud voices with lots of influence, barking lots of misinformation to these vulnerable groups, which instilling further fear and making our job a little bit harder.
How much of the burden of these loud voices is falling on doctors and GPs to counter the claims? And are you finding it frustrating that you're continually having to have those conversations?
Look, I would actually encourage those loud voices to come into the GP clinic. You know, we would love to have those open dialogues, but unfortunately, those loud voices are the ones that are so fixed in their belief, and they're the ones that we're struggling with to engage.
Doc, is it understandable that some of these cultural groups may have a natural distrust of government and authority?
I appreciate there are some cultural groups that do have elements of distrust of the government and authority, and whether that's something from their history or the present, I do appreciate that. But my main concern is that fear and distrust is being further fueled by social media, by things that family and friends are forwarding.
So, Doc, you deal with this every day. How should we approach friends and family who are vaccine hesitant?
It's a great question because I have lots of immediate family that are vaccine hesitant. And what I generally advise people is just engage in an open dialogue. Tell them to review the source. Who is the author? What is the motive behind what they're trying to send? Now, if you feel that despite that conversation, that person is quite fixed in their belief, I'd say end the conversation, because what I'm seeing is a lot of fractured relationships as a result of people having differing opinions. And I would just advise them to tell that person, take this source, go to your GP. We're more than happy to review TikTok videos, articles, whatever it might be, and provide them with evidence-based care. As I mentioned, it's our job and we're happy to do it.
Mariam, thanks very much. Have a good Friday night.
You too. See you later.
I was really lucky to get the chance to speak to my GP for nearly half an hour over the phone before I got my first AstraZeneca jab. And I cannot encourage people to do it enough, especially someone, if you've got a family GP or someone that you trust, just have the chat with them and then make your decision from there. It's the most important source, I think.
Did you feel reassured from
Absolutely. And it was a really frank discussion about the risks that were involved with getting the jab, but also about the benefits. And that's why I finally made the decision to do that and to get it. And I've got my second one on Wednesday and I cannot wait.
I really like how she said, I really liked how the doctor said, bring your TikTok videos and your WhatsApp forwards. Like, I think that is, you know, everyone still trusts doctors. That's one thing that we can be positive about. So just don't be shy. Ask any question. I love that we can, you know, they're so open to that.
And they're so wonderful to take a half an hour
Yeah, she
to
was great.
reassure you, to give you the information you need. In awe of our doctors.
With so much content online, it's sometimes hard to keep up with it all. And let's face it, who has the time? The Project YouTube has you covered with the stories that matter. Hit subscribe for a daily list of the news that you need to know.